It started as a rumor, a whispered dare between co-workers at the small office on 3rd Street. Someone said if you used the restroom after midnight and looked into the mirror for too long, you'd see someone else staring back. Not your reflection. Not exactly. Someone close, but wrong. No one took it seriously, of course. It was just another late-night story. The kind that spreads when everyone's tired, half laughing, half creeped out, until someone didn't come back. It was Jenna who started it. She worked the night shift, always the last one to leave. Accounting, quiet, reliable. She said she'd been in the restroom late one night, brushing her teeth before heading home. The mirror was fogged from the cleaning staff's mop bucket steam, and for a second, she saw someone behind her. A man, tall, still, smiling in the fog. When she turned around, the room was empty. After that, nobody used the restroom past 11, at least, not alone. The janitor, Marcos, worked there for years. He never said much, just nodded, mopped the floor, emptied the bins. But one night when I stayed late finishing reports, he stopped near my desk. "You heard the story, right?" he said quietly. I nodded. He looked toward the restroom door at the end of the hallway. That mirror, it's older than this building. They reused it from the old factory that stood here before. I've seen things. Shadows that don't match the room. Faces that blink when you don't. He looked me dead in the eyes. If you see him and don't look away too fast, he hates that. Then he left, humming softly down the corridor, the sound of his mop echoing off the tiles. I don't know why I did it. Maybe because everyone else refused. Maybe because I wanted to prove it was nonsense. That night I stayed behind after everyone left. The office was dead quiet. Just the hum of the vending machine and the blinking green light of the router. When the clock hit 12:04 a.m., I stood, walked down the hall. The fluorescent lights flickered. The restroom smelled faintly of bleach. Cold. Still. I turned on the faucet, washed my hands slowly, and looked up. My reflection stared back. Tired, pale, but something felt delayed, like the mirror was struggling to keep up. I tilted my head. The reflection did too, but a second later, too slow, a bead of sweat rolled down my neck. The reflection smiled. I didn't. I froze, tried to laugh it off. Maybe I was imagining things, but then it stepped closer, while I didn't move. The glass rippled, barely, like water. The man in the mirror wasn't me anymore. He looked like me, but older, eyes darker, smile wider. He leaned forward close to the glass. "Don't turn around," he whispered. His voice came from behind me. I spun. Nothing there. The stall doors were open. The floor dry, empty. But when I turned back, the mirror was fogged again. There was a single word written across it. Stay. I backed away slowly, breathing hard. And then, a metallic click. The lights went out. The next day, I came in early, tried to laugh it off with the others, tried to pretend I hadn't seen anything. But when Marcos came in, he looked pale. He said, "You should see this." He took me to the security room. Old monitors lined the wall. He played last night's footage. The camera outside the restroom showed me walking in at 12:04, but the footage froze for about 30 seconds. When it came back, I was standing completely still, staring into the mirror, not moving, for 7 minutes. Then, I smiled and left. But Marcos looked at me with fear in his eyes. He said, "You didn't leave. The door never opened again." I laughed, shaky. Then who are you talking to right now? He didn't answer. He just slowly raised a trembling hand and pointed at the mirror behind me on the security wall. There I was, standing still, smiling back. The next day, they said Marcos didn't show up for work. They found his mop bucket tipped over, phone still in his locker. The security room lights off. They replaced the mirror a week later. New glass, new frame. But every so often, when the cleaning crew comes in after midnight, they find wet footprints leading toward the restroom, not away. And sometimes, when the lights flicker and the hallway goes quiet, the mirror fogs for no reason. If you look close enough, someone's still standing there, waiting, smiling.
They said the garage under the old cinema was haunted. Not by ghosts, not exactly, by something that waited, listened. It wasn't a story you found online. It was something locals whispered when the lights went out, about the man who vanished there after his late shift, and the echo that kept answering long after he was gone. It was always empty after 2 a.m. The upper floors silent, the concrete dripping from condensation. One buzzing fluorescent light flickered near the exit ramp. I was working at the movie theater above, projectionist, last to leave. Every night I'd take the elevator down into the underground parking. The doors opened to that heavy, metallic smell. Cold air. Still. My car was always the last one left. Rows of empty spaces glowing faintly under dim lights. That night, when I hit the unlock button on my key, my car's headlights blinked once. But I heard something else. A second click, coming from deeper inside. I stopped walking, waited. The sound echoed through the concrete. Footsteps, soft, wet. Someone else was down there. Or something. I called out. "Hey, security?" My voice bounced back, but it didn't match. The echo came too soon, too close. Like someone else had whispered the same word just behind me. I turned, empty. Just the rows of concrete pillars and the flickering fluorescent above. Then, I heard breathing. I hurried toward my car, keys trembling in my hand. The air felt thick, heavy, the kind of silence that hums inside your ears. Just as I reached for the handle, the alarm blared. A deafening shriek in the hollow garage. I jumped back, heart pounding. The sound bounced between the walls, layers of echoes colliding. But then, under the alarm, I heard something else. A voice, muffled, behind me, whispering. The alarm suddenly stopped. Silence again. My reflection in the car window was shaking. Then, the rearview mirror tilted, by itself. The next day, I told security. The guy on duty just nodded slowly. He looked tired, like he'd heard it before. "You parked on level 3?" he asked. I nodded. He sighed. "Yeah. Don't stay down there after midnight. Cameras glitch out, feeds loop. Sometimes you see things that aren't there anymore." He turned his monitor toward me. Static flickered, then stabilized. The footage showed me walking toward my car. Then it froze. Then, something impossible. For one frame, there were 2 of me, one facing the camera, one walking away. That night, I swore I'd take the stairs instead. No elevator, no echo. But when I reached the stairwell, the door wouldn't open, locked from the inside. The metal was cold under my palm, and as I pushed harder, I heard a faint tapping. On the other side, 3 slow knocks. I stepped back, waited, then, the same 3 knocks echoed from behind me. This time, closer. I turned around fast. Nothing but my car, and the sound of keys hitting the floor. My own keys. But I hadn't dropped them. They were lying halfway across the garage. I ran. Didn't care about the noise. Didn't care if I looked insane. I jumped into the car, slammed the door, locked it. The headlights flicked on automatically, flooding the concrete walls with white light. But someone was standing in the beam, at the far end, still, facing me. A tall man in a dark coat. No expression, no movement. I blinked, and he was gone. I slammed the car in reverse. Tires screeched, and then just before I hit the ramp, a handprint appeared on the inside of the windshield, not mine. A week later, I quit. I couldn't stay there anymore, couldn't sleep. Every sound reminded me of that garage. But one night, curiosity won. I called the theater manager and asked if the garage cameras still recorded. He hesitated, said they'd shut the feeds off. Too much interference. But then he added something that made my stomach twist. The motion sensors still ping sometimes. Around 3:15 a.m. every night, on level 3. But the feed always shows the same thing. He paused, then said, "It's your car." I hadn't been there in weeks. A month later, I went back. I don't even know why. Maybe I wanted proof. Maybe I wanted to end the nightmare. The garage was sealed off for maintenance, but the side door was still unlocked. Inside, the air felt heavier than I remembered. The same flickering fluorescent buzzed near the ramp. I found my old parking space. Number 37. Something was waiting there. A dark stain on the concrete, almost like oil, almost like a shadow. And in the silence, I heard it again. Footsteps, perfectly matching mine, just half a second behind. I stopped walking. The echo didn't. It kept going. One more step, then another, then a whisper, so close I could feel the breath. "Don't leave me here." The lights went out. When they came back on, my reflection was standing by the car, smiling,